Welcome to Gotel News. I am Zainab Said Abakar. The news headlines. Former Vice President and founder, American University of Nigeria, yola, Atiku Abubakar proposes the institution of free and compulsory primary and secondary education across the country. Adamawa State PDP caretaker chairman Ambassador Umar Damagun announces that wants local governments and state congresses to commence soon. Residents of an area behind the Pelkari filling station in Jambutu area of Jamaica Yola call on the state government to come to their aid following the demolition of their houses. Immediate past governor of Rotary Foundation at Nigeria, Mr. Sailu Ahmed, restates the organization's commitment to ensuring total polio eradication in Nigeria. The news in detail. Nigeria's former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has emphasized the need for the restructuring of the nation's educational system. Atiku Abubakar, who stated this on Saturday at this year's edition of the annual Musa Adua Memorial Lecture in Abuja, said restructuring was imperative as education was the bedrock of societal development. Correspondent Masikwada Yaru has more.
The former vice president, who spoke on rebuilding public education as a way to Nigerians' future, stressed that without improving the standard of Western education, the nation will not make desired leap to greatness. Going down memory lane, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar said Western education had grown from its modest introduction in 1845 at Badagry, Lagos State, with only 40 students through stages when it was compulsory, citing the late Shehu Musa Yaradua, whose father was once imprisoned for denying him the privilege of attending school. He added that education helps in impacting and developing skills and knowledge of individuals.
Education is a critical path for social advancement. It helps a society to bring up informed citizens who are more likely to know their rights and have a better appreciation for the rights of others. The exercise of freedom in the modern world requires education.
Atiku said the crisis in the nation's educational system was not an isolated one, citing corruption in schools, society, and in politics. He maintained that nation must change the current policies of education to achieve development. He called for the channeling of funds to the education sector as a good remembrance of the late Shehu Yaradua, who was committed to the cause of education. Earlier, chairman of the occasion and secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator Anyim Pius Anyim, represented by Information Minister Labaran Mako, said the late Shehu Musa Yaradua was a man born with privilege and a most gifted person. Anyim described the late Yaradua as a nationalist, a patriot who served the country well, noting that Nigeria will continue to miss him. Mercy Kwadayaru, Gotel News.
Former Vice President and founder, American University of Nigeria, yola, Atiku Abubakar, has proposed the institution of free and compulsory primary and secondary education across the country, with the federal government providing support for states. He also proposed this for decentralization that will concede education as a responsibility of state, regional and local governments, with the federal government at base setting standards and providing financial support. Delivering the 2012 Shehu Musa Yaradua Memorial Lecture at the Yaradua Center in Abuja on Saturday, the former vice president advocated for the enactment of a law that mandates anyone under the age of 18 to be in school and to hold parents accountable for non-compliance. He noted that such a revolutionary law will ensure that most of our citizens complete secondary school education. And in line with this call for decentralization, the former vice president reiterated his position that federal government should hand off education and let the state, regional and local governments run the schools. According to him, the federal government should at best set standards and provide financial support to states that follow them. State, regional government should have the freedom to plan and implement educational policies and programs to suit local needs and changing circumstances. Atiku advocated for a national discourse on education to determine the expectations of the nation's schools, envisaged priorities and educational model that is amendable to our needs and realities. Residents of an area behind the Palkari filling station in Jambutu area of Jamaica Yola are calling on the state government to come to their aid following the demolition of their houses, which has left them and their families displaced. The displaced persons disclosed to Gotel News Roving Crew that they had lost all properties and had been rendered homeless following the demolition of their houses. Correspondent Samsimi Briston completes the story.
Adamu Abdullahi, one of the residents who spoke on behalf of the displaced persons, said they bought the land from which they have now been thrown out from one Alhaji Buba Marwa 7 years ago, but Alhaji Marwa is now dead. He said their ordeal began 7 years ago when they bought parcels of the land for 200,000 naira each from Alhaji Buba, but that before the death of Alhaji Buba, someone just appeared claiming ownership of the land, an issue which according to him was resolved then. However, on the death of Buba Marwa, the said claimant took them to court, renouncing every link with the said Alhaji Buba Marwa before their houses were demolished on Friday.
Mun siya a hannun Alhaji Buba Marwa. Mun sai da gidajenmu akan muna neman fili za mu saya. Ya ce mana ga filinsa ne. Muka zo muka cire kuɗi kamar ni 200,000 na saya a shekara 7 da ta wuce baya. Kusan shekara 8 a gurinsa. Mun yi shekara guda kenan da iyalanmu a cikin gidajenmu. Sai wannan mutumin ya zo ya ce filinsa ne. Waye ya sayar mana? Muka je wurin Alhaji Buba Marwa tun bai rasu ba. Muka je muka ce to waɗannan mutane sun zo sun ce gurin da ka sayar mana muka yi gini filinsu ne. Sai ya ce mu yanzu magana ba tamu bane mu tashi mu bar su da su. Ya suka yi ba mu sani ba. Bayan an samu wani tsawon lokaci sai muka sake komawa da su wurin Alhaji Buba. To a wannan lokaci sai Allah ya wa Alhaji Buba gajeren kwana sai ya rasu. Bayan ya rasu da sati 2 sai suka dawo.
Adamu claimed that the judge had said the houses will not be demolished and called for amicable settlements and a compensation of 1 million naira to be paid to the claimant. This step, he said, had not been followed through before their houses were demolished without notice. He said they had lost everything in demolition and appealed to government to come to their aid as they were now homeless. Samsumi Briston, Gotel News.
The Chairman House Committee on Health in the Adamawa State House of Assembly, Abubakar Umar Jeringol, has expressed satisfaction with the timely intervention by the State Ministry of Health and its agencies towards averting a disease suspected to be hepatitis B in Serenye village, Nduku Ward in Mubi South local government area of state. Abubakar Jeringol, who led a delegation on a fact-finding visit, observed that the community affected deserve to be enlightened enough on the need to maintain personal hygiene to guard against contracting the disease. The committee said that Adamawa Assembly is ready at all times to address the pains of citizens, which mandated the rush to the affected community. Umar Jaringo said that the gravity of the disease has reduced as only 6 people were presently on admission at the Mubi General Hospital. An agent of the State Health Primary Care Development Agency, Dr. Balki Dili, during the visit said preliminary investigation proves that the disease could be hepatitis B, which is associated by drinking untreated water and bad environmental hygiene presence. Also speaking, member representing Mubi South constituency Usman Abdullahi Lamardi commended the health experts for the prompt action, advising the Serenye community to ensure they keep both personal and environmental cleanliness. Meanwhile, Senator representing Adamawa North, Senator Bindau Umaru Jibrilla, has commended the prompt action of the Adamawa Assembly following the outbreak of a disease in Serenye village of Mubi South early this week. Senator Bindau also commended the state government for its resolve towards improving the living standard of citizens, saying that such will foster development. He called on the people of Mubi to support government in its efforts to promote peaceful coexistence, maintaining also the need to keep clean environment to avoid contracting diseases. Senator Bindau Omar Jibrilla equally commended what he described as good working relationship between members of the Adamawa State House of Assembly, stressing the need for them to work closely with the Speaker of the House, Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, for the development of Adamawa. The Adamawa State PDP caretaker chairman, Ambassador Umar Damagun, has announced that wards, local governments and state congresses will commence from 27th December 2012 to 10th January 2013. Addressing journalists at the party secretariat in Yola, Ambassador Damagun said this development followed a letter